Okay, 8th grade. Welcome to Unit 3, Functions. Make sure your name and class period are on the packet. Our very first lesson is lesson 3.1. We're getting an introduction to functions. So here's what you're going to learn. You are going to learn that a function is a rule that assigns to each input exactly one output. So that's kind of like our definition. Okay? So you might have seen a function machine before. I'm not really sure. But this is what a function machine looks like. Okay? It's kind of a mathematical thing. Here's our little function machine. Okay? You have an input. Okay? The input is also any of your x values. It's also called a domain. Okay? Your function machine will have some sort of a rule in which you will get an output, which is also our y values, also called our range. There it is, range. Okay? So here's an example. Our x values are inputs. So we have input or domain, and we have output. Okay? What happens if I take
Jakaya Smith,
my -2
your boss is waiting for you. Jakaya Smith, please go to your boss.
and I apply this rule? What do I get? -2 plus 1. I get a y. What if I put in a -1? -1 plus 1, 0. What if I put in a 0? 0 plus 1. What if I put in a 1? What if I put in a 2? Okay? Input, output. We have domain. And we have range. Okay? Turn the page. All right, let's work with some more function rules. What happens if I put in a -2? -2 minus 5. Same, change, opposite. What happens if I put in a -1? Same, change, opposite. What happens if I put in a 0? What happens if I put in a 1? What happens if I put in a 2? Now my rule is 3 times x. So 3 times 2, 3 times 1, 3 times 0, 3 times 1, and 3 times 2. Okay? All right, let's learn about a function map. This is what a function map looks like. It is an oval labeled either input or domain. And it's another oval labeled output or sometimes range. So these are ordered pairs. So this would be the ordered pair 1, negative 6. This would be the ordered pair 2, negative 7. This is the ordered pair 3, negative 8. Okay? What is the output for the input of 1? Here's 1 in the input. We get a negative 6. What is the output of the 2? What is the output of the 3? What do we notice? Here's the key. Each input has exactly 1 output. This is your definition of a function. Okay? This is called a mapping diagram. Okay? Turn the page. We get some more mapping diagrams. Okay? All right, so I have an input and an output. My x's, my y's. My input, my output, my x's, my y's. So the output for the 1, so the 1 is here. There's a 7. The 2, look what happened to the 2. It's paired up with an 8 and a 9. So the input 2 has more than 1 output. This is not a function. It happens to be called a relation. Okay? Now, let's take a look at here. 1 has a 4, and only a 4. 2 has a 4. 3 has a 4. So let's look at these ordered pairs. 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4. Okay? Each input, so that's my 1, 2, or 3, has exactly 1 output. This makes this relation a function. Okay? Take a look down here. Number 2 is paired up with a 4, a 5, and a 6. So this looks like 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6. Okay, what do you think about this one? Not a function. The input has 3 different outputs. Okay? function is a relation where each input has exactly one output. Okay? All right, we will get back to the vertical line test in a little bit. Okay? Now, we have a definition of a function, and we're going to take a look at some ordered pairs. The easiest way to do ordered pairs is to use a mapping diagram. So I'm going to make an oval with my input, and I'm going to make another oval with my output, and I'm going to say -3 goes with 5, 1 goes with 0, 0 goes with -4, -2 goes with 11, and 7 goes with 23. So I like to take a look at each one of my inputs. Do I have any of these numbers that are the same? I have no other -3s here. None of my numbers are the same. I definitely have a function because each input has exactly one output. Okay? Take a look at this one. I have a 7 and a 0 and a 6 and a 0. I'm going to stop for a second. Over here, this 0 is paired with a -5, but this 0 is paired with an 8. I can stop. Not a function. The 0 has two different outputs. Okay? All right, let's take a look at a table. I have a 2. I have a -2, -1, 0, -1, oh, -1, -1. This one has a -2. This one has a 2. Not a function. -1. Sorry, negative. It is -1. Oh, and -2. Huh. -2 and -1 have -2 and -1 have two different outputs. Yep, definitely can't have two different numbers. It's like saying 3 plus 2 equals 5, right? Can it equal anything else? There is nothing else that a 3 plus a 2 can equal. All right, let's see what we get over here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So none of my numbers repeat. That's a good thing. And they're all paired with something. That's a good thing. Even though they repeat in the y, it doesn't matter. It's the x's. This one is a function because each input is paired with only or exactly one output. Okay? We will come back to verbal descriptions. Okay? These tend to get a little bit more challenging. We have to think about those a little bit, so we'll come back to those. Graphs are easy. Graphs is where we will use something called the vertical line test. Okay? I can tell you that if I draw a line right here, I see that this graph touches here and here. Not a function does not pass the vertical line test. This one is a function because no matter where I draw my line, it's only going to touch at one place. This is a function. Passes the vertical line test. Okay? You are going to get some practice on being able to identify functions.